There has never been a better time to be a VR gamer. Not only is there a huge library of immersive next-gen experiences to play, but some of the biggest games are still coming down the pipeline. So today, we're sharing our top 10 PSVR 2 games coming in 2025. Now let's begin. The throne for Best VR Pirate Adaptation is still open for the taking, and the prospect of an open-world Caribbean island full of beautiful environments, cursed pirates, and tons of other secrets to discover while exploring treacherous dungeons is the most promising one I've seen yet. The variety of gameplay mechanics such as swimming, climbing, rappelling, combat, and more are making Pirates VR Jolly Roger look like an opportunity for the best immersive swashbuckling adventure to VR.
This grand firmament hangs by a thread.
Funded by Kickstarter beginning back in 2018, and from the creators of Myst and Riven, Cyan World's Firmament VR is a puzzle adventure set in a seemingly abandoned steampunk world. The lengthy wait is certainly one of the reasons to be excited about it, but there's a stunning looking aesthetic to explore as well. You'll uncover the secrets of 3 realms equipped with your trusty tool to interact with devices solving puzzles, and it features deep storytelling, world building, and discovery.
I could have mentored you.
Drawing inspiration from Escape from Tarkov and DayZ, Ghosts of Tabor is a survival extraction shooter featuring PvP and PvE where you'll play solo, squad up with co-op, scavenge, loot, and craft to survive as you make your way to the safe house with each mission. With loads of features such as customizable gear and weapons, optional playstyles such as assault or stealth, and deep replay value, it may be for more of the hardcore gaming audience, but it will be one that you can spend hundreds of hours in.
To me, burnt one. If you're intending to walk the midnight walk, you better be sure to keep your spark safe and burning.
The Midnight Walk is one of my biggest sleeper picks for 2025. It's a hybrid PS5 game with the option to play it with PSVR 2, and not only does it have a dark fantasy art style that reminds me of early 90s Tim Burton movies, but the entirety of the game is handmade with claymation. At first I thought it was just a third-person game, but some scenes from the trailer actually show some first-person as well, and that makes things really interesting from a storytelling perspective. While I'm looking forward to seeing more about how the gameplay works, for now I'm just excited to experience this work of art as claymation games are extremely rare and in most cases unforgettable.
Tuck the sun away.
I welcome thee to a new world, where my sky is deceptively blue, conveying peace and prosperity, but betrays the very turmoil below.
The Godfathers of VR AF are back, this time mixing sci-fi and fantasy with their latest action adventure, Arken Age. Best known for their deep and varied VR interactions from Shadow Legend, Vitruvius VR have spent the last 4+ years building a much larger VR adventure game this time around, clocking in at around 10 to 15 hours, and it contains tons of built for VR weapons with physics-based combat, deep customization, climbing, swimming, and more. The game will also have the option to run in 90 Hz at launch, features dynamic foveated rendering, as well as even having eye-tracked weapons such as a throwing axe and unique boss fights. This is one big, completely designed for VR title that you need to mark your calendars for. Ever since experiencing PlayStation VR Worlds, I've been longing for a realistic diving exploration game, and Subside is coming to scratch that itch. Having previewed this game on PC VR, this is one game that I would love to stick newcomers of VR into. The swimming feels great, the graphics are realistic and stunning, and there's some additional things you can do, such as search ocean floors for collectibles, unlock accessories from the shop, and come face to face with tons of beautiful deep sea wildlife, including a shark encounter. The devs have said that the PSVR2 version is their favorite version yet, and considering how good it was on PC, my expectations are pretty high for this one. Flatout VR Studios brings its biggest pancake game adaptation to VR yet, and what better way than with a classic arcade racer full of high octane and destruction with Flatout VR. It's not only known for being a great arcade racing game, something we desperately need more of for VR, but also features tons of chaos with destructible objects on the track to crash through, jumps, epic collisions, and a variety of tracks and environments. The only footage we've seen so far is pretty early, and we await more details such as the amount of tracks and whether or not the minigames are going to make it in, but even regardless of those things, this is the twisted racing storm I've been waiting for. Getting into epic dogfights in the sky is one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in VR. Aces of Thunder promises to be the next big thing since the Ace Combat 7 experience back on PSVR 1. The wait has been pretty lengthy, but the progress of the game each time we get a new update has been making it look better and better. While it's expected to be a heavily PvP multiplayer game, there is some single player content making its way onto the game as well, and it's said to be designed to take full advantage of PSVR2 features, such as eye tracking, native 90 frames per second, utilize haptics, adaptive triggers, and headset rumble. Despite first launching on PSVR years ago when the headset was past its prime, Hitman 3 was still one of the greatest VR games I've ever played. Even on dated hardware, it had near perfect graphics with huge stunning sandbox environments and featured the entire Hitman trilogy campaign fully playable in VR. This time, the interactions are being completely redesigned to feature dual wielding, manual reloading, holstering, and aiming down the sniper scopes. Tons of other interactions have been redesigned for the orbs as well, so poisoning a drink will require you to hold a vial over the glass, keycards will require swiping on the doors, and hacking CCTVs will require tapping on a keyboard, and more. I cannot wait to revisit the entire world of Assassination in VR on next-gen hardware, and if executed well, this will no doubt be the definitive version to play.
Time is a complicated business, isn't it, Asher? And you've managed to bend, if not nearly break it.
What happens when you take an epic 10+ hour time-traveling story-driven adventure and execute it with features and quality comparable to Half-Life Alyx and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners? You get Wanderer. This mind-melting action puzzle adventure has been remade with brand new platforming and action scenes, characters, and mechanics. Having played it before, it's nice to have all these new additions and features to bring something new to the experience, and if you missed out the first time, then you are in for a mind-blowing treat. It's legitimately one of the best VR games to date with a full-length campaign, stunning graphics, variety of environments, loads of VR interactions, and AAA levels of polish and detail. From the Amazon to the moon, This will be one epic VR adventure you don't want to miss. Alright guys, the hits just keep coming for PSVR2 right now, and this is only what we know about at this time. We're guaranteed to see more and more announcements after 2025 kicks off, like the long-awaited release date for Bloody Hell Hotel, and the pending PS5 Pro support for PSSR could potentially bring a massive boost to games. But it's already a very promising start to the year, and I can't wait to see what comes next. So which games are you most excited to get? Let me know in the comments down below, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.